Hi, I am Ariel and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing something a little bit different, so stay tuned to find out how you can improve your English pronunciation. So today, I'm going to be giving you a bit of a lesson on pronunciation. We're going to be talking about a lot of sounds, a lot of consonants, a lot of vowels, linking, everything. This is an exercise that I do with my students, and every single time my students see an improvement after doing this. I am going to be focusing on an American English pronunciation for this. So obviously, if you're looking for something more American, if you want to focus your pronunciation towards American English or Australian English, a lot of these sounds will be the same, and I am focusing more on an American English pronunciation. Are you ready? Let's begin. So this is a poem by Roald Dahl. If you know Matilda or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, that's the same guy. But I really like Roald Dahl poems for this exercise because he uses so many interesting sounds, consonants, and interesting words. So what we're going to do is we're going to read it together, and by the end of this video, you should be able to read a big chunk of this poem pretty well. We're going to focus on the sounds that most people find pretty difficult, and hopefully, by the end, you'll feel pretty confident with those sounds. So let's start with the first 4 lines because it's always nice to... You don't want to interrupt a line in the middle of a poem, you know what I mean? This is how it would sound in the American English accent. The most important thing we've learned so far as children are concerned is never let them near your television set. So first of all, let's have a look at this linking sound here because we've got a consonant to a vowel, and that's normally the easiest link to make. All you need to do is, instead of viewing it as 2 words, we've got most and then important. I want you to imagine that it's like this, most important. The T actually goes in front of important. This is the same with most words where you've got a consonant and then a vowel straight after it. If you want to link them, just imagine that the second word begins with the last letter of the first word. So don't think of it as most important. Think of it as most important. So we're going to say the most important thing. Now this is a really tricky link because we've got a TH, which people struggle with anyway, and we've got to link these 2 sounds together. So how we do it is this. With this T, you don't release it. We don't go the most important thing. You don't do that. You almost make it so you put your tongue in the position of making a T. My tongue is there. It's ready to do the T, but it doesn't release. We just go important. So just try that. Try to make the sound important, but don't release the T. Don't say important. Say important. Get your tongue in the right position, but don't release it. Okay? So we're going to say the most important. Then make your TH thing. The most important thing. It's like going up on a roller coaster. The most important thing. The most important thing. Hold it up in the air for a bit, then release. So this whole thing should sound a bit like this. The most important thing we've learned. The most important thing we've learned. The most important thing we've learned. Okay, now remember to do that D, okay? You've got an N and a D very close to each other, so we're going up into the nasal to go learn, but then also we need that D. It's just as important. The most important thing we've learned. Then let's carry on, so far as children are concerned. So the great thing about working with poems is we know exactly how these words should sound because they need to rhyme. So learned needs to rhyme with concerned. This is exactly the same sound. We're going to do learned, concerned, like that. Now try not to make these D's like Forrest Gump D's. And I say Forrest Gump because Forrest Gump kind of talks like this. And he says learned UH, concerned UH, runned UH. He does hard consonants at the end of his words, so don't make them super harsh that they're like Forrest Gump. You just want to go learned, concerned. It's a soft little D, okay? And we also want to link this together because we've got a consonant and then a vowel after it. This is where it's tricky with people speaking in the American English accent, because most of the time when we have an R in a word, like here, we don't say it. We don't go learned in the American English accent. We don't say learned like an American would. We would go learned, and we open it up. So you would think, okay, American English, we say far, far. We don't pronounce the R. But actually, we do if the next word starts with a vowel. We pronounce it because we need to link those two words together, and it's very hard to say far as. That doesn't make any sense. We say far as, so far as, so far as. So it should sound like this. The most important thing we've learned so far as children are concerned. Okay, so now we have that ER ending. In American English, when you have a word that is more than one syllable and ends in an ER, you go consonant, ER. That is going to be a schwa. A schwa sound is a completely neutral sound. It goes There's no effort. You should be able to do anything with your lips. You can go, it's very attractive, I know. So instead of worrying about this R and saying like ERR, nev RR, all you need to do is just drop the sound. So we say never, never, never. Just drop it, drop it, drop it like rubbish on the floor. No, don't drop rubbish on the floor. Don't litter. All right? Be a good person. Never, never. So we would say is never, never, never. Let them near your television set. Okay, so let's try that. Let's try that with me. We're going to say this 3 times. Here we go. Never, never, never. Now just look in the mirror. Are you doing this? Are you going never, never with your lips? Are they going forward into RR? Look in the mirror. They should be just going never, never, nothing. The lips aren't doing anything. Okay, so let's carry on. We've got a TH. I'm actually going to go ahead and highlight the THs, because often the TH is such a tricky sound for people. I'm going to make them pink. So often people struggle with THs, because it's a very specific sound to English and Spanish, I believe. There are other languages that have THs, but a lot of languages don't have THs, so it's very difficult for people to grasp it. Get your tongue in between your teeth, and this is a voice TH, so I want that to be TTHHH. There's a buzz. You should feel it here. This one, however, is an unvoiced TH, so this one goes thing. No voice, there's no buzz in my throat. Thing, okay? So let's try this one. Let's go from here, actually. Is never, never, never let them near your television set. And these R's, we don't say them because a consonant comes after them, okay? Look, consonant, consonant. So we are not going to say these R's. We say near your, near your. So let's try now. Actually, this let and them should be linked, because really, it's one line, isn't it? It's never, never, never let them near your television set. So do the same thing that you did here. You're going to nearly pronounce your T. Let, get the tongue in the right position, but don't release it. We just say, is never, never, never let. Tongue in position, but don't say it. Let them, then go straight to the TH, okay? so it should sound like this, is never, never, never let them near your television set. Okay? You're doing really, really well. Let me just highlight these schwas so that you remember these schwa sounds. What color should we make a schwa? Let's do a nice orange. So that's our schwa sound, okay? So I'm going to read that for you one more time. See if you can read it with me or read it after me, okay? The most important thing we've learned so far as children are concerned is never, never, never let them near your television set, okay? Let's move on to the next 4 lines. So here we have a lot of dark L's. We're going to make these make it a dark maroon, okay? So we have 2 different kinds of L's in American English. We have a light L, which is just, you flick the tongue there, just above the teeth. You go like a little fairy. A dark L is you take this part of the tongue and you press it just here, just up above the teeth, and you go. It's like your tongue rises up the back of your throat and blocks the airwaves so you can't get a really nice sound out. It's just. So instead of going, or better still, you don't need any lips. We just go, or better still, just don't install the idiotic thing at all. So you can notice when I'm making this dark L, I'm smiling, I'm going, because that's much easier to make rather than doing this. That's really hard to do. It's much easier when you smile, and a lot of the time people get in the habit of going still, and they make an sound. You shouldn't be doing it should be still. So look in the mirror again. Look what your mouth is doing. If it's going still, it should be still. And just to clarify the rules of dark L's and light L's, so dark L's come before a consonant, so like felt, or at the end of a word, so like well. We do a light L before a vowel, so Laura, or hello. If there's a vowel after it, it's light. Okay, so let's try those 2 lines again. So we've got, or better still, and here we have that schwa again, like never, 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 better. Or better still, we don't pronounce this R either, because look, this is a consonant. So if an R comes before a consonant, we don't say it. Or better still, just don't install. Let's link that T here. Let's do what we did here. Put it here, so we're going to say, just don't install, just don't install. Now this is a really interesting link. So how do you think we link these 2 sounds together? We've got an E and an I, so if you're ever unsure, just try to say those 2 words as close to each other as possible. So, without taking a breath, the idiotic, oh, I kind of did a link there, but what sound did I make? The idiotic, it's a Y sound. So to link this, we say, or better still, just don't install the idiotic thing at all. Now why am I saying the, and why am I not saying the? Because here I said the, but here I say the. So the rule the is like when the word after it starts with a consonant, so the most consonant. But the is like when the word after it starts with a vowel. So because idiotic starts with a vowel, we say the idiotic, okay? So that's the rule. Sometimes we say that, sometimes we say the okay. Oh, and let's carry that T over as well. So it should sound like this, or better still, just don't install the idiotic thing at all. And let's highlight these THs as well. So you can see by the end of this exercise, everything is very colorful, and there's lots of different, colors and bolds, But that's just a way to help your brain remember, okay, I've got to do something here. I've got to focus. And you can just focus on making the sounds. You don't need to remember all the things that I've taught you because there's a lot to think about. But if you do colors, you draw on it and everything, you can just focus on making the right sounds. Okay, so the next two lines go like this. In almost every house we've been, we've watched them gaping at the screen. Okay, so we can definitely do some linking here because look, we've got consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel. That's so easy to link. You've got to link those together. So all we do is we do this. In almost, it's like you're about to say enormous. In almost every. Carry that T over. Now it looks wild, right? It looks crazy. So now we say in almost every. So it's kind of one big word like that. In almost every. In almost every. Like that. Okay? So try it. In almost every house we've been, nice. Then make sure I hear every one of those sounds. When people say watched, often it just sounds like watch. People forget the ED on the end. Sometimes people do it like watch D, do it with a D, but it's not a D, it's a T. Watched, watched. When you have a CH and an ED, it's going to be CHT. Okay? And make sure you don't say washed. A lot of people mix up. They say washed instead of watched. So I always say that this one, SH, is like the ocean. SSHHH. But this one, CH, is like a train. CH, 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 CH. Don't mix those up, okay? Then this word gaping. Gaping is like when you're just like if your mouth is gaping open, it's just hanging open. Gaping means hanging open, really. At the screen, oh, look, we've got another T that we don't say. At the screen. So you go to say it, nearly say it, but don't release it. At the screen. So let me get rid of that. Make you pink. Make you like that. Okay? So let's try that whole thing. So, in almost every house we've been, we've watched them gaping at the screen. And that's at the screen, because this is a consonant, okay? Boom, 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 boom. Let's try the whole thing. Let's try the whole thing. So, see if you can read it with me. You ready? The most important thing we've learned so far as children are concerned is never let them near your television set. Or better still, just don't install the idiotic thing at all in almost every house we've been. We've watched them gaping at the screen. Nice. Well done. Okay, now I'm gonna do a little test. Okay, little test. Test. So what kind of, well, we know this is a TH. Oh, forgive me. I've colored these wrong. See, we all make mistakes, don't we? We all make mistakes. Just making sure that's an unvoiced yes thing. Any other ones? No, we're good. Okay? So, we've got a voiced TH here. Then we've got this word. Now this word means to just sit around and do nothing. I'm just like this. I'm not doing anything. Okay. But what kind of L is it? Is it a dark L like that, or is it a light? What do we think? What do we think? So here's the answer. On its own, if we put that word on its own, it would be a dark L, because L is the last sound. And that's one of the rules of a dark L. If it's the last sound, it's dark. So it would be LOL, LOL, push that tongue, push it against the top of your mouth, they LOL. However, because we want to link words together, because that's what helps us sound really fluent. Now suddenly when we link it, there's a vowel after it. Oh my goodness. So now we have to follow the rules of a light L, because there's a vowel. So now we say they LOL, and slop, lol, and lyle, and we've gone back to a light L. So always follow the rules of when they are linked. When words are linked together, then decide if it's going to be a dark L or a light L. On its own, without linking, this would be dark. But when it's linked, it's light. So we say, they LOL and slop. That's another light L slop and lounge about. Lounge about is just, oh, I'm not doing anything. And we can link that G here. So instead of going lounge about, we're going to say, forget about that E. Actually, lounge about, lounge about, lounge about. Okay? So these E's, by the way, E's at the end of English words, a lot of them are completely pointless. So try not to get distracted by the E's. Think about the sound before it, that G is what's important. Okay? So let's try that together. They LOL and slop and lounge about. Lovely. Again, this E here, so we've got and stare until their eyes pop out. Got a lot of linking there, because you will see that E and think, oh, okay, I've got a vowel to vowel link here. No, it's not a vowel to vowel link. It's an R to vowel link, really. It should be this, like going up the stairs. So really you're going to say this, and stare until, because the R is the last sound of the word. It's not the last letter, but it's the last sound. So we're going to follow the same rule like we did. Where is it? Here. So far as we're going to follow that same rule, but the only difference is we've got that silent E, which is completely pointless. So, and stare until, oh, that's not the right color, their eyes. Carry that R over, pop out, pop out. So we're doing lots of linking here, okay? So try it with me, and stare until their eyes pop out, and look. Another dark L, until. Okay, we're going to do 2 more lines, that's it, just gonna go up to here, okay? So then we say, last week in someone's place, we saw a dozen eyeballs on the floor. So here's a test, okay? So how do we link these 2 words together? I don't want to say last week, I want to link them. How do I do it? Correct. We take that T over, and it's going to sound a bit more like tweak, like if you tweak something. Last week, last week, last week, last week in. Keep it linked, so link that over. Last week in. So all of that should sound like one word, really. Last week in someone's place we saw. Now that looks like ow. A lot of my students go saw or saw. I hear a lot of saw, but it's not. It should rhyme with door and saw, and war should all rhyme, they should all rhyme. So make sure it's like a forward or sound. We saw a dozen, this is an sound, dozen. And what kind of L is that? What is that? Is it a dark L or a light L? What do you think? Yes, it's a dark L because it comes before a consonant. A dozen eyeballs. Eyeballs on the floor. That's a lot. That's a lot to think about, okay? But you've got this. We're gonna try it all together, okay? Are you ready? You've got this. Here we go. The most important thing we've learned so far, as children are concerned, is never, never, never let them near your television set. Or better still, just don't install the idiotic thing at all. In almost every house we've been, we've watched them gaping at the screen. They loll and slop and lounge about and stare until their eyes pop out. Last week, in someone's place, we saw a dozen eyeballs on the floor. You did it. Now, obviously, there are still some sounds in there that you might find difficult, or maybe I haven't mentioned them, but we can't talk about every single sound. These are just the main sounds that I think most people struggle with, but I hope this was useful for you. I hope this little crash course on lots of sounds wasn't too overwhelming, but thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.